why, because I don't, as to why this machinima and why like the world first on Nihilim's world first Alal kill. Like they Frapson took a video and made a video of the first kill of the Phoenix and TK in Tempest Keep. Why has this culture sort of risen?
I actually credit a lot of it to Conquest. Conquest, when WoW first came out, was one of the real bleeding edge WoW raiding guilds. And we had caught them doing some kind of fishy, questionable stuff.
Which is funny because they also came from EQ.
Yeah.
And they actually got banned in an infamous story in EQ.
They were doing some questionable stuff in Molten Core, and we had to action what they were doing. And to get back at Blizzard, their way of getting back at us was publishing strats to every encounter in Molten Core, along with videos and just step by step, you know, here's how to beat the encounters, which in EverQuest would have been considered a devastating thing to do to Sony. Conquest basically did the Brady Games guide to raiding, and all of these guilds were suddenly raiding and knew how to do Molten Core who would have never known how to do it before. And the new thing became not who could kill something first, but who could kill something first, publish the strat in the video, and claim that they came up with it.
Yeah, that means that players are going to be exposed to it, they're going to be able to come up with their strats, but ultimately that's going to lead to a much more finished product. And I think, you know, we really started hitting our stride around Naxxramas, you know, where it's a much more polished experience, and it still lasted a long time for players. So
I'm glad we got around to Naxxramas, because that's sort of the thing that WoW Raiders look at as like the pinnacle of what they saw from Azeroth WoW. Talk to me a little bit about Naxxramas in general, because the zone, if you look top to bottom, the zone, like it's winged, the loot is min-maxed, it's like without a doubt. It has some of the most memorable encounters in the game. It has stuff that I remember watching people try and figure out, and you know, trying to figure out exactly why Patchwork is doing these things that he does, why, like, you think back to those first few times that you pulled him and he just eradicates your entire group. But Naxxramas, really, there's never been anything quite like it.
Well, I think the reason Naxxramas came out the way it did was because we spent more time on it. The construction of the zone itself began before WoW ever shipped. We had layouts of it, we had many meetings on it. It had a strong lore component to it. Naxxramas, everybody knew who Kel'Thuzad was, and they knew its connection to Arthas, so it had that going for it. It had a lot of bosses and a winged approach that let people, you know, if your guild happened to not be good at Anubricon, but you were good at, you know, one of the other earlier bosses, you could pick the direction that you wanted to go. You know, you could try Patchwork right off the bat, or you could go to the Spider Wing, you know, or you could go to Instructor Resuvius, or whatever you felt comfortable for your raid makeup. And then the fact that it was butting up against the end of, you know, original WoW's lifespan with the Burning Crusade right on the horizon, it gave it sort of a mythos that it wouldn't have had otherwise, because not everybody got to do it. Not everybody actually did kill Kel'Thuzad before WoW was over, so that just its place in the WoW timeline also made it a very special dungeon.
We talked about older games, and you talked about EQ. What about Shane? Tom, what about?
Well, my background for MMOs comes from Ultima Online. Not only did I play the game for many years, I also worked on the game for many years. So I definitely had a lot of, you know, fond memories of the Wild West that was UO when it first came out. There were a lot of crazy lessons to be learned from that game. A lot of fun that we had, you know, back in the day. Was, I guess, kind of earned myself a reputation in that game as being a player killer.
I've never played UO, so I guess for my own edification, I'd like to know what some of these lessons are that you're picking up from UO.
You kind of were out there for yourself, and as soon as you left the safe field of the town, you know, you walked outside, there were people hiding in trees and stuff ready to kill you. There's a lot of things you can do, things you can manipulate. For example, they'll have like a garden out there with cabbages and carrots in the garden. You can bring your horse there and feed them cabbages and carrots, and it makes them feel good. There was a character in a class in the game, or a type of skill, is a poisoner. We have a programmer on our team who played UO who would go out to these fields and poison all the carrots and cabbages, and you get random people come along to feed their horses. They'd feed their horse would take 3 steps and then die.
you got to understand the way that game works. So it's free PvP. Any place you can kill anybody except for in the cities where the guards will kill you. And then when you kill them, you can just loot them.
Take
So
everything
all
they
their
own.
stuff,
Yeah.
like literally all their stuff, and they will be naked, resurrected, and all they have is the stuff they banked. So if they didn't bank a full set of second gear, then
They
they're
have
now
no
naked.
gear.
They have zero, nothing. Like inside the city, like at the Forge is where everyone would hang out and people would be bidding on things. And someone might screw up and do an aggressive action and the guard would kill them and their body would be lying there. And there's like 20 people around it, and you would actually see him get looted. You would see the graphic of his shirt goes
Flying
to this
off.
guy, his pants go to this guy, and it's like these vultures.
And they're just
Yeah, it's like all of this stuff just
a clothed
poofs.
person and
Yeah.
then naked person. Strange behaviors. You could pickpocket people, and if someone noticed that you pickpocketed them, they could yell out guards in town, and then guards would swoop in. So you'd see like a bunch of people running around that are naked in town, and you always wonder, what the heck are they doing? Well, they're pickpockets, because they just basically don't walk around with any gear. They walk up next to somebody and they pickpocket them, and they don't care if they die because they're not
Once
going
they
to
actually
lose.
successfully get some, they go and throw it in the
Yeah,
van.
go throw it in the van. So
But naked
anytime
guys are
a
thieves.
naked guy walked up to you, I mean, maybe in real life this happens too, but you kind of took a step away from him. You're like, what's up with that dude?
You've been to San Francisco, right? I mean,
This is not unusual.
you
yeah.
always like my walk out of the Tenderloin. Thanks.
Until next time.
Yeah, thanks so much, though. But thank you very much.
Yeah,
for
thank
Yeah,
you.
it was our pleasure.
Thank you guys.
It's fun.
Good times.
Hey,